And we have the great pleasure of having the composer here with us today. And I'm going to speak with him now. Yeah, big hand, please, for Felipe Pérez Santiago. Felipe, welcome. Thank you so much. It's great to finally get you on Relevant Tones, and now in a live setting, no less.
Right. Well, first I will ask you another amazing applause to this incredible music.
Absolutely.
I just have to go and shake hands and everything, but they are far, so I shake hands from here. Thank you very much.
So tell us about the piece. What was the inspiration, the title Hospital Suite?
Yeah, I know. Well, this piece, as its title suggests, it was written in a hospital. It's a 4-movement piece. I will start with a sad story, but don't worry, it has a happy ending. First I got the commission, which that's a happy part, from the National Fund for the Culture and Arts in Mexico to write this piece. And so I got a grant also to write a bunch of pieces. So this piece was part of that program. Then I was about to start writing this piece, which is a 4-movement piece. Tonight you're going to hear 2 of them. The first one is what you heard, and the last one will be at the end of the program. So it's called Hospital Suite because at the time that I was about to start writing it, my mother and my ex-girlfriend, they felt like really, really sick. So both of them were at the hospital, in different hospitals. So I spent like nearly 2 or 3 months just traveling from one hospital to the other. So I was spending the whole night, the whole day with my mom and the whole night with my ex-girlfriend. So fortunately, both of them are fine. I mean, they both survived. Not my relation, that's why I said my ex-girlfriend. But I mean, she's fine. I think. I haven't seen her in years, but I mean, at least she came out fine.
Is this the one who dated David Byrne?
No. That's another story.
So, see, we're all drunk because we had a mezcal tasting before this. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I think this is fine for the people also that were at the tasting. You are enjoying this probably much more.
Oh, yeah.
And so then the piece has 4 movements. Now you heard the 3rd movement, and they have very strange names. I mean, for anyone if here we have doctors, they will not find it that strange. But the first movement is called suprarrenal. The second movement is called vesiculobiliar. The 3rd movement, which you just heard, is called neuroma de Morton. And the 4th movement, which you will hear at the end of the program, is called neurocardiogénico. So they sound as strange to me as they probably sound to you. So during all this very, very long time I spent at the hospitals, I knew anyway I had a deadline and I had to finish this piece. So instead of just grieving to say, oh, my poor mom or my poor ex-girlfriend, which again, fortunately they are fine, I just took my laptop and a small MIDI controller and a pair of headphones, and I was just working at the hospital. And so the titles were the terms I heard from the doctors when they said, oh yeah, we had a problem with the suprarrenal of your mom. And I was like, okay. And I said, yeah, your girlfriend has a neuroma de Morton. I was like, right? So whatever that is, which I still don't know. So I found them so cool titles for the piece. So, I mean, I just decided to take it with humor and said, I mean, anyway, I have to be here at the hospital, so I just take these titles and turn them into this piece that you just heard, the 3rd movement.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're going to feature a piece now by Mario Lavista, and we have just maybe 1 minute, if you could, Felipe. Can you tell us kind of what his place is in Mexican music at the moment?
Of course. I mean, Mario Lavista is a man in his 70s-something. I would dare to say, like with no doubt, he's probably the most important living Latin American composer in the world. I had the luck of knowing him personally. We are good friends. He's also been a promoter of new music all around the world. His music is fantastic. And also he's a teacher. He has a series at the Superior School of Music in Mexico City where he teaches analysis of contemporary music, of 20th and 21st century music. And he does it for free, which is great. I've been his student. I've been analyzing pieces with him. He has invited me also to talk about my work at his lectures. And he does that every week for the last 30 years. So besides the fact that he's an amazing composer, a wonderful person, he's been doing this, this work of bringing contemporary music for free to everyone, musician or non-musician, that would like to attend his classes. and he's a wonderful person, and well, I'm very honored to be sharing the program with such a pillar of modern Latin American music like Mario Lavista.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're also going to be working with Open House New York. They'll be on the panel. It should be really, really interesting. We'll have a conversation, and then we'll explore this topic musically. So that'll be in July, and you can find out more at relevanttones.com. So we have one more piece left on the program, and let's go ahead and bring up Felipe one more time, the composer, because, yeah, please, big hand for Felipe Pérez Santiago, who is here from Mexico City. It's such a treat to have the composer, one of the composers here in the house for us. So Felipe, you talked a little bit about this piece before, but let's chat about, I think you're my soulmate.
Well, especially after Mezcal.
We've had this nice collaboration. Felipe also does a lot with film, as I do, and we started off a year ago with the film project, and then we're kind of building from there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Seth and I, we started this collaboration like nearly 2 years ago, something like that. Some flutist in Chicago, Genio Brown from the Picosa Ensemble, they played my music around 3 years ago. And I mean, it was a great performance and everything. But then, like a year later, she just sent me a message and said, hey, you should meet Seth, because she knew I was very interested in film scoring, because he has this amazing festival in Chicago, which is called the Sound of Silent Films, which he's been running for 12 years, am I right?
Yeah, 13. We just finished our 13th year. We've done it 3 years in New York as well, so we'll be doing that in the fall here.
So, yeah, last year, was it 2017 or 16?
No, it was last year. 17.
Last year, yeah, right. He called me, Seth, and he said, well, you know, I need a conductor to gather an ensemble and to play over these films in Mexico City. I would like to bring that program there. So we did. He sent me the scores, he sent me the films, we exchanged a lot of emails. I gathered a small ensemble because that's what the pieces required. And I had the pleasure to conduct it. We did it in a place which is called the Cineteca Nacional, which is the National Film Archive, which is a complex of like 10 cinemas and bars and a library about film and cafes. It's a beautiful place, which it also has an open cinema, open air space cinema. So we put a festival together, actually, Seth and me. And so we brought his program, and I put it together with a lot of programs of many composers, also from Mexico and from other parts, to do live film scoring. And that's how our collaboration started.
This was literally the most productive Skype call that I've ever had. I mean, I was just trying to find a venue, and Felipe gets Cineteca Nacional, which is like the premier place for cinema in Mexico City. And yeah, and the musicians were phenomenal. I mean, and the audience, and they did I mean, it's so interesting when you're in the United States, because it's really, it can be very difficult to get press for classical music sometimes, oftentimes, especially contemporary. And we did a press conference where I was actually at my wife's mother's house Skyping, and only later did Felipe tell me this, thank goodness. I might have been nervous, but they had me up on one of the big screens, like my head was ginormous, talking to all of these people in the press. And, you know, in Mexico City, and I mean, I was really amazed. And then the concert we did just in March, was a house concert, and same thing, there were 140 some odd people that showed up, and I mean, to me, the appetite for culture there is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico City now, I mean, it's not because it's my birthplace or I live there, because anyway, I have lived outside of Mexico City for a very long time, like kind of half of my life I've been outside Mexico City. But now I'm back there, and I encountered a really vibrant city. I mean, I really invite you all to, if you haven't been there, to really take a look at Mexico City.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. And I mean, really, just come. I have a big house, so you're all invited.
All right,
Seth knows that.
I do. I've stayed at his house, and it's awesome. On that note, we're going to finish up now with a piece by Felipe. On the radio, you should tell them what your website is.
Oh, yeah. It's very simple. It's www. My name, Felipe Pérez Santiago. And I mean, I know it sounds complicated. For Mexicans, it's not, because Pérez is like kind of half of the telephone directory. But, I mean, Felipe Pérez Santiago. And I'm at this table. If anybody wants to approach, talk, or get a CD, I would be more than pleased to talk with all of you. And thank you very much, Seth. It's been great.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.